as we have a four-way battle. Mr. Beastiva takes this race in style with 20 seconds to spare to the next car.
Goes through.
Oh, knee, no! That's a crash, that's a big crash.
Oh, knee! I think he made a mistake there, as he is now, I think, well behind Chris.
And I just want to say they're still going at it side by side as Mr. Knee potentially loses a bit of time.
As we can see on Chris's onboard, he is right behind Knee, and I think that will stay. Oh, he makes a huge mistake there.
Now, Motel has overtaken Chris, though, through the Mercedes Stadium. The Knee! Oh, massive mistake by the Knee! Oh, he did not lose. Yeah, he did not lose his front wing, but that means that Chris has caught up to him. Are they both going to go into the pits? Any one of them? No. So, Knee has lost the lead in just a tenth of a second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PA Community Championship for yet another round. This is round 7 and we are here in Wynford. Now, something really important that you guys need to be aware of, there's a massive cut that can be done here in Wynford, and whoever we see that actually does this cut will be disqualified automatically. So even if it's a mistake, you guys get disqualified. This is where the cut can be done. So basically you can run here wide and then use this runoff and basically cut this whole like little chicane type of thing, which will obviously gain you a lot of time. So anyone who we see that, you know, does this cut will automatically be disqualified. Now onto the main stuff. So as we said, round number 7 here in Wynford. Once again, one round left after this one for the championship to be complete, and as always, the 3 rules that you guys need to have in mind: no sign-ups required, we use 2023 cars only, and we also have a prize pool of 5,000 Robux, which is a very important thing considering that the leaders are 5 points apart, I believe, now in the standings, which we will review in just a little bit. But yeah, sponsored by PA, and I also want to say thanks to my own sponsors that you can see in the bottom right of your screen. And yeah, we can move on. Inworks and Daily Studio, obviously. Now, I think we're all done with that, so let's go here. Let's introduce our co-host for today as well, Mr. G-Force. Hello there.
Hello guys, welcome to round 7 of the Row Arthur Community Champion. Today we're in Wynford, and you know, I hope to see a good race because I got woken up from my slumber from this, so you guys better drive well or else I'll be
You guys better drive well. G-Force said that, so you better not disappoint. But yeah, as we said, make sure we don't do the cut. And here is the link to the server, obviously. There you go. And yeah, you guys can start joining up. We are gonna get the intermission out of your faces right now, and obviously start joining up right now. So let me make sure that everything works. And let's disable the music as well. There we go. Yeah, so qualifying is underway. 15 minutes when you guys get in the server. That's that. DRS should be working as well. It is. There we go. And yeah, that's about it. How are you feeling today, G-Force?
I am feeling quite stuffy for some reason today. I don't know. Maybe I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah, most likely. You do sound like it. It might be because I woke you up.
Yeah.
But I think our viewers are very happy that you are awake. So
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So
I'll take it.
I'm kind of happy I get to see this spectacle of racing, you know, for another week. And this is how many rounds? Yeah, like 3 rounds after this one, if I'm correct, or 2.
No. 1 round left after this one.
Oh.
Let's jump into the
Nice.
standings, actually, and make this a bit more clear for our viewers. So, as we said, 5,000 Robux prize pool. We are in Wynford, round number 7. We have 8 in total for this season. We're hoping 10 for next, if we do get another season. But yeah, Wynford this time. As you can see, the leaders are 9 points apart. So, if Need doesn't finish today, and Chris wins this race, or finishes in second as well, I think he has the championship in the bag. But I don't think that Nee will not finish the race. I think he'll give up a good fight for it. I don't think he will back down until the very last lap of the very last race. And it's going to be very, very exciting to see.
Yep, and you know that title fight is really interesting in my opinion because you see Nee, 100% podium rate. Chris, 3 wins. Nee hasn't gotten his illustrious win yet. He's been close, but he hasn't got it. So he needs to really work hard in Wynford if he really wants to get that first win of his, and even try and have a chance of closing that point gap with Chris.
Right, massive voice cracks by GeForce, but we skipped
Mhm.
that. But yeah, here we go. Knee invalidating yet another lap. He doesn't start this qualifying session well. Mr. Download Drum for the first time ever attending a qualifying session, from what you guys can see. Let me go ahead and fix this graphic real quick. There we go. So yeah, this guy is in his debut right now. We have a bunch of other drivers, including Chris on track. So let's go ahead and spectate him. This is the title contender alongside Nee. He has showed just a little bit more pace than everyone else in every single round, and it clearly shows in his point scoring for Chris Boye. So we'll have to wait and see if he can get the championship in the bag this time around. If not, there is always one more round next time around.
Yeah, I mean there is a 9 point gap, so even if Chris doesn't win this race, he has a pretty good chance of finishing second, which would still be enough to keep him in the lead for that final race. Will be crucial for him if he wants to have a what's called good chance of getting that illustrious win in that illustrious championship. As he gets 2 purple sectors, third purple sector 102.664 is the first lap time on the board, and the lap time to beat for the rest of the drivers. We have 13 minutes left of qualifying to go.
Exactly. So Chris has set like what's it called? The potential pole position lap time. We have Arsenal player 5787 who was potentially on his out lap, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But he also sets a valid lap of a 106.4, nowhere near Chris, obviously, as we've seen throughout the season. Where is Nee? Is he out on track? I don't believe he is. Bistiva as well, out on track. He also has the opportunity to get the third place in the championship. So let me pull up the graphic once again. Bistiva is in third place. He has 10 points of a gap. Let me take the Windows 10 thingy over there. There we go. So yeah, Bistiva has 10 points of a gap to Ratapata, who is in P4, and I believe he will not be attending this race. So I think Bistiva might have this in the bag. So yeah, that should be third place settled for the championship. But yeah, once again, we wait and see how first place will be decided, whether it's going to be this race, whether it's going to be the next race. We wait and see.
That is an interesting championship battle. Chris, the man who didn't even attend the first round, and the fact that he's still up there just shows the levels of, speed and precision he has in these races. As he hasn't made too many mistakes. He's of course made some, but Nee's made more, which is really what's it called this deciding factor because Nee needs to up his game. As he does get a pole position lap time of
Oh yeah.
101.782 with 11 minutes left to go.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't spectate him, but looks like he did set a very nice lap, so it's apparently a second quicker, a second and a tenth quicker maybe than Chris. So we just wait and see how that involves. Maybe he maybe got a bit more practice for today's round because he definitely really needs it. So now we wait and see what Chris can say in return as he gets out of the pits. It's going to be a really fantastic pole position fight, and I can't wait to see who comes up on top.
Yeah, and then you have the rest of the grid as well. Yeah, Sassy as well in P3. And that's a little bit of a surprise, maybe because no one set a better lap time. There is a 3 second gap between the two leaders and the rest of the grid, which is kind of beautiful in a way because they're so what's the word?
Well, until
So
GeForce finds his words.
engrossed in
Oh,
trying to.
massive spin
Oh,
there. Massive,
yeah,
massive moment by Arsenal, but he's still alive, I think. He's good to go. In
yeah,
in real life situations, I don't think that would be too good, GeForce. Don't you agree?
yeah. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good at all. But he's well and truly alive. He's able to continue the qualifying session, and yeah, we
He
focus
landed on his
now.
wheels.
Sorry,
At least he landed on his wheels.
at least he landed on his wheels. But yeah, as we said, oh wow, there is more cuts that players can use to their advantage. That is not great. But as we said, I will show you guys the corner that Chris is heading towards right now. You guys are not allowed to cut that one. And if you do, you will be disqualified with immediate notice, no warning at all. So the corner that Chris is heading now, this corner, do not cut that, or you will be disqualified once we see you, or if proof is presented throughout this session, or after the race even. That's entirely possible.
Yeah, I can't lie. I was thinking it would have been so funny if Chris just cut the corner.
Yeah, imagine.
Maybe that's why it's so fast. But oh yeah, look at BCVAR 102.14
There we
straight
go.
after P2, separating the two championship leaders. So yeah, maybe BCVAR is really hungry for that P3 position in the championship. You know, try and secure it away from Rata, who's been consistently what's it called, attending, getting those points. But I don't think it's going to be enough as BCVAR is getting this P2, potentially securing a P3 in the race, which will give him 15 points and a even bigger advantage over Rata.
Absolutely. Beast really needs to get this in the bag, and I think he will be able to do it this race. But I do think that he will need to attend the next race, as Ratapato will still be there. So there's still the chance of Ratapato stealing it, but he is really close to getting, you know, that third position. As we have Poco Lando 102.4 up into P3, Mr. Download Drum up into P5 with a 103.0. So we have quicker lap times coming in, and that means that Sassy is now down into P6. That's something that he will not want to see, but obviously the quicker players are already in here.
Yeah, the quicker players are starting to arrive. You know, Pocanaldo, Mister, and you know all of those guys. Even yeah, so it's going to be a even more interesting qualifying battle to see who can get those top positions and who will fall short in the lower points paying positions, or even out of the points potentially.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see, and I just cannot wait. There's 7 minutes to go until the qualifying is over, as we're watching over knee, going through the fast-paced corners of Wynford, and he will be braking very soon as he uses a massive cut there. I mean, I guess he can do that if it doesn't penalize him, although it's gonna look very weird in the racing. So it's very difficult for us to police the cuts in Wynford, and I gotta admit, I did not know that these things kind of existed, as we have a car just going for it behind me, and this is just the warning that I needed to not use this round for next season until the corner cuts
Yeah.
are fixed, maybe.
You're welcome.
Yeah. What do you mean you're welcome?
You know, now you know. Never drive at Wynford.
Now you know. The more you know, as they say, you know.
The more you know.
But yeah, we have the cars out on track right now. Chris has been demoted into P4, something that he will not want to he will not want to see. But something very good for Ni's point of view. He is currently in pole. Nobody has been able to get within a tenth of him, and Chris will most likely be starting his next lap right now, as he's crossing the line right now. Does he start another one? I don't think so. He goes back to the pits, and he will gear up for yet another run. But Ni is on pole, and it's not by a small margin. Not a small margin at all.
Yeah, I mean, Ni has a tenth or 2/10 gap, as you said, which is actually a really healthy gap between P2, as he only has 6 minutes left of qualifying. He can improve on that lap time. So if no one else improves, that will be really good for Ni, as he has a advantage on everyone else. Because you know, as the famous Will Buxton says, if you start pole position, you have the other 11 drivers behind you in this case. So that would
Very
be
cool.
really useful for me if he does manage to secure that pole position. As Chris even drops even further down in the standings, that was not a good provisional pole lap time. He hasn't managed to set another one, which is kind of worrying because you know he needs to have a chance of getting into that top 3 position at the very least. Because P5 is not going to satisfy him.
And I just gotta say that just like yesterday's qualifying session for F1, the field is incredibly close for today's qualifying in PA. So it really shows you how realistic PA can be if you really want it to be. Yeah, so Chris Boy has not set a very competitive lap. I mean, we're talking for tenths here, not even seconds. We're just talking tenths. So yeah, we just wait and see as he cuts the final corner as much as he possibly can, goes into the final corner as wide as he possibly can, and he's starting his lap right now. Let's have a watch with him. GeForce, let's talk us over.
Okay, so he's going through the first sector now into that DRS straight as he goes down into the downhill on this corner. You're not meant to cut. Do not even try it. As he goes very nice and close to the curbs, you know, the sausage curbs right there. You want to be as close but not hit them as he does right there as he goes through the
Ah, that was
second
invalid.
sector now. Yeah, he does get an invalid first sector, which requires him to only have, well, which only gains him 1 lap left of qualifying, I believe, or 2 laps left if that's. So he has 2 laps to move up the standings and try and get that P2 or even challenge Knee for that P1 position.
Absolutely. And yeah, massive mistake there done by Chris, as he does not look like he has the pace to win today's Grand Prix with Knee, Beast, and Poco, and also the guy on his debut, Mr. Download Drum, being very much quicker than Chris himself. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see, obviously. And not going to be great on Chris's part. It's going to be very good for Knee, and I just can't wait to see what happens into the race.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes 45 seconds now. Knee still manages to have that pole position time up there. You know, BCVI is close, but he's not there just yet. Maybe Knee has put in some extra hours, put in the work, put in the hours, and takes what's his. You know, and you know, it's paid off actually. You know,
Amazing
he's
quotes
been
by GeForce today.
he's paid off his like his hard work. Hopefully he's been hard working because that is a top quality to have in a driver, and it's now he's P1, so it goes to show children, work hard, it pays off.
It does pay off, and it does not pay off for Knee this time around. GeForce has he invalidates his lap, and Beastiva as well also invalidates his lap. We have Poco on a lap though, as he opens his DRS now, goes down the straight, and will be turning in right. Oh, Poco, you're not supposed to do that, buddy.
Poco!
Poco, what are you doing? Is it a valid lap? It's not a
Naruto.
valid lap. No, he invalidated. Okay, it's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Imagine if
Don't do that in the
Poco
race. That will get you disqualified. Okay, don't do that in the race.
don't scare us, Poco Naldo.
Yeah, don't scare us. All right. So 2 and 13 seconds to go, as we're gearing up for a very nice finale up in the Wynford track. And does Wynford only have one? He's also cutting the. Okay, that's a invalid thing, right? Beastie, yeah,
Yeah.
it's invalid. Okay.
Everything's invalid. Look at the top 5 times,
Absolutely. They're cracking up under pressure, I suppose. And one guy very much under pressure, this guy, Chris Boy, he has not been able to deliver this qualifying session, and it remains to be seen if he can challenge the top, maybe the 3, because he will absolutely need to finish on the podium to have a chance next time around into getting that sweet title.
Yeah, I mean, Chris has, he's been consistent all the way until today. Could today be the death of him? Nia's been having an absolute flying qualifying, but as we know, Nia's a fast qualifier, but we don't know how he can be in the race because he's very volatile, but at the very least. So we're gonna have to see if Nia manages to retain his lead, as we see Mr. Download getting a purple S1.
The thing is with that GeForce, he cut the track, which he shouldn't have done. And
Oh,
he
no.
had a valid sector 1. He reset it himself, so that's good to see. But doesn't look like, yeah. So you will not be setting that lap. So no restrictions on him, I suppose.
Yeah. So that corner is very hard to gauge whether that thing, which is kind of annoying, but nonetheless.
Why is Chris heating up his tires? There's no tire temperature in Project.
No,
I think he's given up. I think he's given up in this qualifying session.
no, he knows. He knows. He wants it to be an epic last lap for us to commentate over.
Yeah, he's just living it on us, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, as we
I
see
guess we
now,
have to give it
25 seconds to go for the qualifying session. Knee on provisional pole position, and it looks like he will stay that way. P2 we have Beastiva, P3 we have Poco, and P4 we have Mr. Download Drum, and that sets up our top 4. And in P5, something massive news around the paddock. Obviously, Chris is not competitive in Wynford.
Yeah, that is going to be really a blow to his what's it called? His standing, you know. If he gets if they stay like this, Nee will actually overtake Chris at the before the final race, with like 1 point gap between them or two, depending on the fastest lap point, or zero depending on the fastest lap time. So there is literally like, you know, if Nee manages to keep this, Chris makes mistakes and stays around that position, Nee will have a pretty solid chance of winning the championship.
I'll tell you what though, Beast has a green sector 1 if he hasn't invalidated by the time that I say this. Not sure if he has, but Poco seems to be on a lap as well, so we let them finish off their laps. Poco will probably be the last finisher of qualifying, so everybody head to the grid if you're done with your laps, get your new soft tire compounds, and head on to the grid. But yeah, Poco will be rounding up his lap right now. Take it over until he does, so I can take care of a few errands.
Yep, he's just using his track limits to the best he can as he's going through the third sector now, actually. But he's had 2 yellow sectors, which is really not ideal for him as he's, you know, going through the last couple of corners, trying to get as much time of the lap as possible. I think to no avail, however, as he manages to stay P3.
Yeah, so that was a slower lap time than his personal best, meaning that he stays in P3, but I'm sure that he will be very, very happy with that, as we have a medium tire compound starter, which is something that's been proven to not be great at all in Project iPix, but can you make it work? I'm not really sure. Probably not, but we'll have to wait and see.
I feel like you're going to say something else there.
Yeah, I think he realized his mistake. He did realize his mistake, yeah. There we go. So we give him a bit of time to come to the grid. Pole time again was a 101.7. So let's say 25 laps of Wynford, maybe?
25 laps it is.
25 laps of Wynford. And we'll be waiting for everybody to line up, as we said. Hopefully Project Apex's camera doesn't do weird things this time. I think I've found the solution. Just be on the T-cam of the driver. So we'll be doing that for the start of the race. But who else is left? Do we have another driver in the pits? Yes, we have one coming in down now. Mr. Download Drum. Why is the Ferrari not going into the grid spot? They are. Okay. They're heading into it right now. 13 starters for today. If nobody has left from qualifying. And yeah, we see all the different cars on the grid right now. Everybody should be lined up. We have yet another Aston coming out. Okay. Should be the final car now. Coming out of the pits, and we'll be beginning the race very shortly.
Chloe. What a nice name.
Yeah, what a loving name.
What a loving name. Yeah.
What a lovely name. But yeah.
What a lovely name.
What a lovely name. Very, very awesome quotes. Very awesome stuff being said today on today's stream. But anyway. Let's get ready for the race start. Then what you all are waiting for. We're going to be spectating Chris Boy on the launch down into turn 1. Let's see if we can get a few positions as I'm going to be starting the race in a few moments time. 25 laps should be the way to go if it does want to work. And we're going to be starting the lights in 3, 2.
Done.
We had a jump start there. Anyway, we're going to be starting the lights in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are lights out, and away we go. We can finally see what's happening as they cross the line, and now we can actually spectate them. As Chris Boy looks to have lost a few positions. No, he's actually up into P4 now. Mr. Download Drum has overtaken him as he looks to be in contention for the podium. But again, this is just turn 1, lap 1. Lots can change, including Nee's position. He could lose that as he has shown to do in the past few races. But Nee turns it first into these couple of chicanes. Nobody seems to have cut that chicane, so that's good to see. If you do, you are disqualified. Just a reminder for you as Nee sets off into the lead.
Yep, Nee is in the lead currently with 2/10, but ahead of Beastivar, who's in the McLaren trying to get ahead of him. I mean, he has that pace to actually, advance him as they're trying to get as much lap time as you can see there. Very, very optimized racing lines as they try and go down the first lap, the second sector, as we have Chris moving up to P3. He's in that podium position again, so he is actually fighting for that podium position, which would keep him in the contention for the championship, but he needs to worry about the cars behind him as well as the cars ahead of him, because Nee is battling Beastivar for that first place, because Beastivar is actually looking very fast today in Wynford as he what's called they go down the downhill into the chicane. And you know he takes I think a better clean line, but he does go a bit off the racing line there, which manages to let Knee take ahead going into the second lap and the second sector.
So Ni and Bistiva seem to have set off from the leaders. Chris seems to have lost a bit of pace in the opening few laps, so he is 1 second behind the leader as we speak, meaning that he will not be receiving DRS when it does become available. And he is on the soft tire compound as well, so there's no tire difference on the leaders. But Chris doesn't look too competitive today. Let's see what he can do throughout the rest of the race. And there we go. We have a lead fight then as Bistiva and Ni absolutely maximize their racing lines heading down into the finish line. Let's see who is in front. It looks like it's Bistiva. Bistiva looks to be in front as Ni goes as much as possible on the outside to try and maximize his speed through the corner as Ni goes for a kind of switchback as he fully cuts the track there. But no regulations on that. You can absolutely do that. It looks silly, but again, not mentioned on the rules, so you guys are free to do that. What you aren't free to do is cut the chicane, which nobody has done so far, and I'm very, very pleased to see that. And yeah, we have a new leader, Mr. Bistiva.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the chicane is giving some people a hard time, like BC Vars Chris, as they keep on hitting the sausage curbs, which is not ideal as it does slow them down a little bit, as evident, because Knee is ahead in P1 with BC Vars quite behind them, but he is trying to. They're both maximizing the potential time they can get out of Wynford as he's trying to close in on Knee there. You know, trying to get the closer lines, and he does actually get have a little bit of overspeed there as they go into the final corner, trying to take it as wide as possible for the best possible exit on that corner. And it looks like that they're going to be quite equal going to that into the fourth lap as Knee takes that really wide line, but Vistivar instead opts to stay on the track, which is really interesting because Knee has those more wider lines, but Vistivar manages to keep it tighter. But still, he's managing to fire despite the speed advantage that Knee might get as they go into the chicane again, trying not to hit the sausage curb, and none of them do as well. So that will be good for both of them as they try to pull away from the pack a little to get away from the DRS gains that they might make.
It's super close, the top pack, especially the top three. They're within 1 second of each other, and I just can't wait to see who will come out on top as Mr. Download Drum on his debut seems to have incredible pace, being able to follow Bistiva and Knee. Hopefully we can see him in more races throughout the next couple of seasons, if there are any. As I say that though, 1.5 seconds now he has lost to the leader, so he's stayed a bit far behind, and it looks like Beast was not able to keep up with Knee in the last lap, so he is 8/10 behind him now. Does that actually help Knee going that much wider? I mean, he could be sacrificing the entry, but maybe the exit is a bit better. Who am I to say? Knee probably knows better, as we have DRS for Bistiva going downhill now into this very tight section, and this section, it reminds me so much of the Singapore Sling. Lots of drivers struggling around it, and it really looks like the Singapore Sling.
Yeah, it actually does look like the Singapore Sling. But moving away from the chicane into the next sector as they go into this slightly uphill section. Beastivar trying to get that better exit through there. I think he manages to do that as he slightly catches up to Knee. I think Knee is doing much better in the first sector, but Beastivar just catches him in the other sectors as there are 6/10 between each other. 3/10 now. Beastivar has made up a lot of time since that first sector and the chicane, which is really struggling he really struggles with. And I think he needs to actually just follow Knee's line here because Knee he knows something he doesn't, so he has to try and follow him if he wants to have a shot of overtaking him, as they're now 1.5 tenths between each other. You know, the rest of the gap now, you know, it's crazy to see. Now it used to be Chris fighting with Knee, now it's Beastivar. He's obviously made a lot of progress since the last couple of races as he goes down into the chicane again, trying to maximize the thing. I think Knee.
Oh, he got a penalty. Did he get a penalty? He got a penalty, guys. I think.
That is really unfortunate for Beastivar, as now he has a penalty and he is quite behind Knee.
It's either a penalty or it's a massive mistake. Either way, he will not be too happy, too pleased with that. As we move on, lap number 6 out of 25, it looks like Bistiva was not able to keep up with Knee, and the same goes for Chris, as he is up on the podium paying position and he is fighting with Mr. Download Drum. for that crucial podium position. As they're going at it side by side now, both of the Red Bulls. One is the Miami version, one is the normal Red Bull, and that's how you can differentiate them. Chris always using this Miami Red Bull livery. He is absolutely in love with it, and it looks like he also got a penalty.
Chris also gets a penalty, which puts him down in 4th position away from the podium point. So Wynford is actually giving us a little bit of a surprise with the amount of penalties drivers are getting because of the track limits. So yeah, the track limits are all not sunshines and rainbows. If you do mess up even by a little bit, they will catch you out and give you warning. So you have to be really careful about that as you try to manage your pace with the extremities of the track.
And yeah, yet another penalty for yet another driver. And this particular driver, Mr. Chris Boy, he will not be happy about that at all, as he really just needs to finish in the podium to make sure he has a bigger chance. As he goes wide there, hitting a bump, he does not know where to go. That probably gave him a few cuts there, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. As he hits yet another bump, I think the tire wear is starting to settle in with the drivers, and maybe it's becoming a bit more unbearable for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult for the drivers now to manage those track limits, as well as, trying to keep up with the pace of Knee. Knee is absolutely flying, 8 laps in, and he hasn't made a single mistake from what I've seen. So it looks like he is really, I'm probably gonna, he's turned on,
Don't
okay?
jinx
He's
it,
turned
yeah.
on.
Oh, wow,
He's,
okay.
he's turned on with what's it called? He's electric, he's flying, he's going to, what's it called? Probably have a big enough gap to have a comfortable cushion for winning this race, provided he doesn't make any mistakes. We've seen the track limits. We've seen how Nee likes to abuse those track limits. So he will, potentially abused and get caught out by the penalty system, which could be dangerous for his lead. So it's going to be a real challenge for Nee to navigate these 17 laps without getting warnings and also penalties.
Talking about the lead, though, Nee is 5.5 seconds ahead, something that we have seen in the past couple of rounds, but we have seen that gap come down and down and down to the point where Nee does not get the win. So does that happen this time around? Hopefully not for his title chance. Hopefully, yes, for Chris Boy's title chance, as he's nowhere near the lead this time around. We've seen Chris have incredible luck sometimes around these PA Community Championship. Will he get that luck towards the final few laps? We'll have to wait and see, as Poco has now closed in to Chris. Yet again, he will not be happy at all with this, as he's potentially now sacrificing 3.5 something thousand Robux, or 3. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, he is just sacrificing so much right now with him staying in P4.
Yeah, well, P5 actually Arthur, as he's battling Chris for that P4 position.
What do you
as
mean
well.
P5, Arthur? Wait. Let's get down to this beef right
P4.
here. His P4, yeah.
You said no, you said P4, but Poconaldo's P5.
I was talking about Chris.
Okay then.
See, G-Force. See, anyways, get back to it, man.
Okay, as we're getting back to the racing action. You see them battling with each other, actually 2 tenths within each other, I believe, as they are very close with each other in the final corner as they try to get the maximum time out of that corner. I think Poconaldo may have had a slightly better exit. Yes, I think he did, as he manages to gain a little bit more time to Chris, as he has a really weird, that line looked very weird at the start, but actually really helped him as he overtakes Chris actually for P4 as they go into the chicane. He has to make sure he nails the chicane if he wants to maintain that lead. I mean, Chris is going very close.
They are at it side by side, G-Force, through the chicane, as he got the DRS and he's now ahead of Chris. And as they head to this very bumpy section, does any one of them make a mistake? It looks like Poco does, and Chris is now right behind him once again. That's not gonna be very happy for Chris, but again, better than nothing. He's back up into P4 as Poco makes a massive mistake there. What happened there for Poco? He was right there with Chris, but he looks like he's not there anymore.
He might have got a penalty or made a huge mistake, which that solidifies him in P5 for now on the 11th lap, which is really unfortunate for him. Because he was fighting for that P4 position, which could be really useful for him for the championship, trying to get as many positions as he can, to have some bit of glory, bit of pride.
But look, Beastiva has closed the gap just a little bit for 3 tenths, I believe it was, last couple of laps. So if he keeps that up, maybe Nick can make a couple of mistakes, and which I'm not wishing, by the way. I'm not gonna jinx this, okay? We know the commentator's curse is real, but we're not trying to jinx this. We're just trying to do our jobs, as the drivers are as well out on the track. But 5 seconds now for between Beast and Knee, which was 5.5 a couple of laps ago. So that's great to see from Beast's point of view. Maybe the pressure is cracking up for Knee as the gap is back up. So maybe that was actually all not true.
Yeah. As we see, download drum as well. He's been quietly sitting in that last podium spot. He has managed to keep his head down for 12 laps in this race and even is making some progress into P2 and P1. He is a surprise. I would be very definitely surprised if he does manage to win this race, obviously. But I wouldn't count him out because, 7 seconds with 13 laps, that is very doable. As you see Beastie Varv there,
Oh, yep.
actually.
There you go.
He's managed to catch up significantly.
Yeah, so Beastiva has made a massive mistake, probably, and Mr. Download Drum is right behind him now. What happened there? Probably a penalty, or maybe two even, as he's right there. He's right behind Beast. He wasn't there a few laps ago. He was like, what, 10 seconds behind him, I presume, and now he's just caught up, and that means that Beast will not be too happy about that. Maybe the pressure is getting up to him, but we'll wait and see, I suppose, as Mr. Download Drum, again, really, as you said, he's just been sitting quietly, doing his job, absolutely managing beautifully, and it looks like it's paying its dividends here, Force.
Yeah, I mean, he's also, what's it called? Oh,
Oh.
as they go into the
Oh,
pit.
he almost, very much almost loses his tire. Very much almost, but he's in the pit lane, safe and sound. Thankfully, has Knee pitted? Doesn't look like it. As he
Looks like they're going
moves.
for the undercut.
Yeah, they're most likely doing that as Beast doesn't seem to be able to find a way through. As Poco is now up into third, he has not pitted, of course, and we'll just wait and see about what happens then and there. Obviously, again, you don't really need to pit. There is no such rule as that. But if you don't pit, I think you're sacrificing way, way too much pace around here.
Yeah, I mean, Knee trying to go for that over. I mean, I don't think it was intentional. He couldn't tell when they pitted. But yeah, BCVAR and Mr. Download trying to go for that undercut on Knee. I mean, Knee has actually been quite slow. I mean, I saw that BCVAR was catching up to Knee slightly in those last couple of laps. So Knee potentially, and
He's
yeah,
going
he
at it.
does answer to their pit stop as he goes into the pits, trying to negate that undercut and, reduce the amount of time he lost. But you will get those fresher tires, which is also good for him as well. As
Absolutely.
did he pit?
Yeah, he did. So there's basically a glitch in Project Apex where you basically don't even need to stop. Lots of glitches around Wynford, obviously, which we hope that will be fixed soon. But Knee has pitted, and he's basically back up to the same gap that he had with Beast. Or is he, as they look very, very close now to Beast. To Knee, sorry. As they move through the Singapore, well, not the Singapore chicane, but just the chicane. It looks like, yeah, Bistiva has closed down on Knee very, very much. Down to 2 seconds now is the gap between Bistiva and Knee.
Yeah, BC Vaz actually had a really good strategy there with the undercut, and also his tires look to be good as he managed to go pit the halfway lap, the halfway of the race. So it does seem like he'll be able to manage his tires to the end. So now all he has to focus on is just beating Knee right there. One lap older tires, but he has the potential to win this race, which would be a very beautiful spectacle to see, as we've just seen Chris dominating these last couple of races and stuff like that. So BCVAR trying to catch up to Knee 1.5 seconds. We'll have to see how that goes as the laps unfold.
Absolutely. As Knee has DRS, very inconsistent DRS system, as we've always said through the championship, which will not be helping Beast, obviously, who's right behind him. He's closed the gap even more to Knee, as Poco seems to be fading out. I don't even think he's pitted yet, but what I can tell you is that he's either playing from a keyboard or a mobile phone, as his lines are pretty weird, if you ask me. So I don't know
Yeah.
how he's still managing to stay with the leaders there.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon, they're just pulling some black magic out of the bag, trying to maintain that P3 position. Mr. Donald download, excuse me for that. He's been having kind of a horror. 14 seconds behind Beastievar now. He must have had a terrible show in the pits, as you know, he's just 14 seconds behind Beast, which was like very close to even overtaking him potentially. And Chris. It's just what's happened today for him, man. It's just Wynford has not been his track as he is down in P5, 4 seconds behind Mr. Download. He needs to get at least P4 or P3 if he wants to have a proper chance of winning that title in the next and final round of the championship.
Look, I'll tell you what, there is a chicane cutter over there, who is that jailbreakery. I think he will need to be disqualified if he keeps on doing that. Hopefully I don't catch him once again over there. But I will tell you what, Poco Lando has managed absolutely beautifully. He is up into third, overtaken Mr. Download Drum and Chris Boy, as he basically executed his strategy absolutely perfectly, and he is now up into the podium paying position. As Beastiva still trailing Knee, as you can see, he's absolutely catching up lap by lap. So Knee is pulling the Knee out of his race, as he always seems to do, as Beastiva is incredibly close now to the Red Bull of Knee, just a tenth now between them, not a tenth, sorry, 8 tenths, as Knee and Beastiva both go for that white line, giving them a better exit. Through here they go now. Beast seems to have the DRS, which will help him immensely going down into the chicane, braking beautifully there. Make sure you don't cut that, as you will be disqualified. But Beast seems to be through that chicane beautifully and right in the back of Knee.
Yeah, he is really on Knee's gearbox right there, as he makes a little bit of a mistake there trying to catch the car, losing him some time. And, you know, Knees managed to pull away from that second gap, so the DRS advantage will not be given to him for a little bit now, as he tries to get back into that 1 second range. And I wanna have a little conspiracy theory about Ronaldo, about how he's doing the strategy we saw at Baku, where he's not pitting and trying to keep out for the whole race, because he's only has 8 laps left to go and he hasn't pit. So
He has. We saw him
he has
pitting
pit.
before, yeah.
Am I never mind then, as you know, he's managed to stay P3 then. Well done to him. I mean, he was fighting with Chris for a little bit, but now he's ahead of Mr. Download and Chris again. So, you know, that has actually been a superb showing of Poconaldo in today's race, as he just needs to maintain that gap until the very end, and he'll secure himself a surprise podium, in my opinion. You know, fair play to him.
Absolutely, and absolutely fair play to Poco, who's going through the chicane now, doing a top job not cutting that corner. Thank you, everybody, for respecting today's rules around Wynford. It's absolutely appreciated. Just makes our job a little bit easier to continue and give you this high quality coverage of the PA Community Championship. But yeah, Poco Lando, as we said, absolutely massive today, absolutely perfected his strategy. He has absolutely minimized his mistakes, something that Knee nor Chris have done in today's race. Bistiva is right on Knee's gearbox, and Chris is nowhere near them. Nowhere to be found is Chris near those podium paying positions, which is obviously something that will not make Chris anywhere near happy than what it would have been if he was on pole.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, he's been staying in that P5 position for the entirety of the race now, so it's really disappointing to see from a man who's got 3 race wins under his belt. So, you know, he needs to, as things stand, he would actually regain his lead in the championship, which would be definitely a shock, in my opinion. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Penalty for Beastiva. Penalty for Beastiva. And that means that he has dropped back significantly now, and the only way he can get back up with 6 laps to go in this race is if Knee gets himself a penalty or makes a mistake himself as well. And that's not going to be that's not a very pleasurable sight for Beast on the closing few laps, as he was right on top of Knee and he was most likely in contention for the win.
Yeah, Beastiva still, I mean, P2, it's not the worst thing in the world for Beastiva, as he will probably secure that P3 position in the championship, which would be a real treat for him, as, you know, he's getting a little nibble of that prize pool, that 5k. but Chris and Nee trying to eat the entire pie. Those greedy men, as they're
Absolutely.
fighting each other for that what's it called, for that championship win. As you know, Nee looks to be having a really good chance here. Actually, 5 laps to go, 4 seconds. As long as he just doesn't bottle it, like we've seen him do the last, Silverstone, other races probably as well. So as long as he doesn't bottle it, he will have a really good chance going into the final race. And Chris, he needs to catch up to Mr. Download and even potentially Poconaldo, but I don't think he has the pace for that, unfortunately, as he sits in P5, 5 seconds behind Mr. Download.
I'll tell you. Oh, Beast is going in the pits. Is he going for the fastest lap attempt? He most likely is. He said that he probably said in his head that, hey, I can't really manage, catching up to P1 with 4 laps to go. Although I would have risked it. I would have gone for most likely the win. I would have risked it. As they say, high risk, high reward type of scenario. And Bistiva has thrown that down the train. No chance of him getting anywhere near the win now. And we will be watching over him to see if he can set the fastest lap of the race with a new soft tire compound as he moves on through the chicane. And he seems to have kept second place, or is that Poco in front of him? I think he. No, that's Poco in front of him. So he also has an overtake to make. Or does he? No, okay, so Poco is behind him. Okay, never mind.
Confusing. We have the two Ferraris that sandwich him. 1 lap and one trying to catch to him, as we see Poco making a little bit of a mistake there. That is not ideal for him, as he's trying to maintain that gap to Mr. Download, who is actually 6 seconds behind Beastie Fight. Is like, you shouldn't count him out for that podium position, as well as he's also 4 seconds behind Poconaldo. I mean, Chris, you can count him out of the podium practically at this point, because 3 laps to go, 9 seconds to catch up. It's just not possible, I don't think. As BC trying to go for that fastest lap now, going on the curbs there, trying to go on the edge as much as he can. He does not get the DRS, which will hinder his lap time as he goes into the pseudo Singapore sling, trying to get the best out of the chicane, as I don't think he manages to do that. Maybe a good exit, as he does get a green sector 1 going through the second sector of this lap now, going on that slight uphill, trying to go as much as he possibly can on the limits of the track, as we can see right there, abusing those track limits, hitting them, punching them, biting them as they go into the last couple of corners as well. Does he manage to get a yellow sector 2? No, he doesn't. He gets a green sector 2 as he is charging on his way to a potential fastest lap, which will give him an extra 1 point to his championship overall point standings as he goes through the final corner. Does he get a putt? No, he doesn't.
2 tenths away.
Yellow sector 3 and now 2 tenths away from Nee. He has to try again maybe in the next couple of laps. It won't. Depends.
Oh, he has the DRS now, and that's going to help him quite immensely as he hits a bump there. Maybe that took away his advantage that he had with the DRS, as this is going to be his only chance to get the fastest lap as the tires are fading away, and he seems to have set a very, very competitive lap time to begin with. So Bistivar really needs to manage this lap, make sure that he gets clean exits, as that was an invalid sector 1, so he has absolutely no chance of getting that fastest lap in this race. As we have Poco, Mr. Download Drum, and Chris way, way, way behind them. Something happened to Chris this race, and he will not be too happy with that at all. As it stands, Nee should be back into the championship winning position. Nicely done by Nee, I have to say. Great recovery. He has been on a very, very, very low during the whole season, and it looks like he has found his mojo back, and he's leading this race absolutely beautifully. Take us through the next half lap, GeForce, and let us finish off this Wynford round number 7 of 8 race.
Yep, of course, as he goes through that pseudo Singapore sing again. What's it called? He's charging his way down to his first ever race win in the Project Apex Community Championship as he goes through that little uphill section blocked by the Project Apex camera slightly there. But alas, he's still ahead, 6 seconds ahead of Beastie. Oh, he gets a penalty!
Gets a penalty. Have we jinxed it again, GeForce? It looks like Beastie's getting close then, but yeah, he's not close enough apparently.
It's not over yet for Beastie. 2 seconds behind. He could manage to potentially catch up to Nee in this last lap, and I will give that to you, Arthur, for the penultimate Project Apex Community Championship, whatever.
Whatever. As we have Beast absolutely near knee, he has worked his strategy pretty beautifully. If he didn't get in the pits, he could probably have the chance to win the race now. As you can see, he's right behind knee. Does he get the DRS? Yes, he does. Going down into that small chicane that we've been talking about throughout this whole race. And it looks like all the drivers have absolutely managed to stay within the limits, so no disqualifications in today's race, unless there is any proof that surfaces after the race, pretty much. But oh, it looks like Beast has closed in. No, he has a penalty. Beast has a penalty, so that pretty much means that Nee has kept the lead. Yeah, he was nowhere to be found. Massive mistake by Beast. I'm sure he will not be happy with that at all, as he had the better tires. He could honestly catch up through the final couple of corners, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen today, as Nee will be crossing the final corner as we speak, taking that apex, going wide to make sure that he wins this race, and he does, crosses the line, 26 laps, beautifully managed by Nee, couple of mistakes here and there, but it looks like he was on top today, getting his first win in PA Community Championship. Right behind him, Beast Diva, who absolutely challenged Nee throughout the whole race, but he wasn't able to translate that challenge into the race win. I'm sure Nee will be ecstatic about that win, as we have Poco in P3. Absolutely another great finish by yet another driver in P3. He was the underdog. He absolutely delivered. He came, he saw, he conquered that last podium position. And in P4, the debut man, Mr. Download Drum, I'm sure he'll be very happy with that, as this is his very first race in the PA Community Championship, and I can't wait to see what he does in the next couple of ones. I'll tell you what, though, someone that will not be happy with this race is going to be Chris, as I think he left the game, so we can't really spectate him. But Chris, very, very bad performance this time around, not helping him in the championship at all. I think Nee will be up into the lead of the championship now, so that means that whoever I'm not sure if whoever finishes in front of the other wins, but it means that Nee has a much better chance of winning the championship after this round.
Yeah, so Nee has managed to close the gap to Chris and actually have leapfrogged him into P1. So what a title finale they have both set up for everyone to watch, because Chris trailing behind Nee after leading for so long in the championship, and Nee finally getting his first race win. He's determined, he's on form, he's on that pace to try and win the PA Community Championship. So what a last race. Which track will it be? Who knows? As I don't know if I get the chance to guess again, choose again.
You do. It's the look, GeForce, look. You have a lot of pressure on your hands now. It is the final round, the championship decider. So make sure that both of the drivers like this next track, because if you don't, they're going to be very, very disappointed with you, if I should say so myself.
And I do not want them to be disappointed with me, so I'm going to actually look through the PA track list. We have Hockenheim, we've done Hockenheim, Mexico, we've done Mexico, Magny-Cours. Magny-Cours would be quite interesting, don't you think?
I think so, and I think no driver actually has a problem with Magny-Cours, or they might, you never know. But yeah, so next round, you can confirm that, right, GeForce?
I'm just looking. There's Indianapolis, potentially, Czechia, Winter Park, and yeah. So I'm going to lock in with drum roll, please.
I don't have a sound effect, but here you go.
Magny-Cours. I'll go with Magny-Cours.
There we go. So next round is Magny-Cours, ladies and gentlemen. Do make sure to tune in next time around, as it's the championship decider of PA Community Championship Season 1, and what a season it has been. And hopefully we get a very, very juicy title fight in the next race, which is going to be, again, as we said, Magny-Cours. Thank you, everybody, for watching throughout the rest of the championship and this race as well. And make sure to not miss next race, which is going to be, again, next weekend, same time as today. And we will see you there. Obviously, standings will be announced in my Discord server. I also have a custom website that you guys can go ahead and check when the standings update. So link is in the description, as well as Raw Arthur Partners. Massive thanks to them as well for making this all possible. But yeah, this was PA Community Championship round number 8, the penultimate round, the final round. Next time around, same time, same day, next weekend. with hopefully the same co-commentator if he doesn't fall asleep this time around. And we'll see you guys then.
Goodbye.